The following video today is brought to you by DMC5, now available on Xbox One. Stay tuned until the end of the video to find out more. Back in 2013, the internet was introduced to Sammy and Amy of Scottsdale, Arizona, after their infamous appearance on the Gordon Ramsay TV show Kitchen Nightmares. What followed next was a summer of complete lunacy, as these crazy business owners fought with the internet. While their antics were reported on for quite some time, eventually they faded out of the public eye, which led me to wonder whatever happened to them. Before we get to that, however, I just wanted to take a stroll down memory lane of one of my personal favorite internet breakdown stories. This all began the night Kitchen Nightmares started filming at Amy's baking company for the episode's introduction. To their surprise, they captured a gigantic fight between Sammy and a patron who was unhappy with his order.
You have a pizza, it's coming. You want to wait, you wait. You don't want to pay what did you have and you off from here. Do you understand?
Sammy?
You serve! Out! Don't speak like this! Go!
Things only got worse when Gordon arrived and discovered that they were serving frozen food, were abusive to their workers, and most notably pocketed their servers' tips, which appears to be illegal. When Gordon tried to point out these flaws to their business, Amy and Sammy just seemed crazed and were unwilling to change. So for the first time in the show's history, Gordon gave up on the restaurant.
You have the right to run the business the way you want to run your business. I have the right to do the right thing. And the right thing for me is to get out of here. Good luck.
That was just a very brief rundown, and there was a lot more to it than that. So I encourage every single person who hasn't already to go and watch the episode for themselves. It's one of the best things on the internet. Shortly after the episode's release, clips of Amy and Sammy's freakout began to trend all over the internet, including several posts on Reddit with people marveling at how outrageous they were, and if this wasn't just a pre-planned reality show skit. To find out if this was real, people swarmed to Amy's baking company's social media pages. If the show was any indication, these two weren't very good at handling criticism. So when people started to leave bad reviews and troll their Facebook page, they just completely lost it. They start to lash back at these anonymous haters, getting in arguments, and creating increasingly incoherent posts. This of course led to more and more people watching the online breakdown, with many now going to the restaurant in real life to see the owners in person, and maybe even get them to freak out for themselves. And Sammy did just that, with TMZ gaining access to a video of him threatening a person with what appeared to be a knife. Because of all this new attention, scrutiny by law enforcement started to be sent their way, leading us further down this very strange rabbit hole. Sammy had to face the possibility of deportation, with the public finding out about his past as a gangster, including claims of drug trafficking, threats, and extortion. In fact, with some digging, internet sleuths discovered he was already banned from France and Italy. Other sites also reported on findings that Amy had a run-in with the law herself, when she spent 14 months in prison for the misuse of a social security number. After the firestorm of comments on their social media accounts that helped them become the center of online attention, Amy informed the world that all those posts of them freaking out at critics were not from them, but rather a hacker. No one seemed to believe this. After they supposedly regained access to their accounts, it appeared that they learned their lesson and stopped feeding the internet trolls, and they eventually fell back into their normal lives. And this is where we can start to look to see if there were any lasting consequences from that episode. Surprisingly, even after all this, they were able to keep Amy's baking company up and running for around 2 years after the incident. But in 2015, they decided to close their doors. While I can never know the exact reason why they closed down, I'm guessing that the business was just bleeding too much money for too long. After closing down, Amy and Sammy wanted a new start, so they moved to California, where she continued baking under a new business name called Amy's Sweet Magic. But from what I can tell, they closed down this operation. I also stumbled upon a cookbook she created, although there is very little information about it. Since the Amy's Baking Company episode, I think the biggest winner of all this has been Gordon Ramsay. Up until that point, he had been known as a popular television chef, but this brought him to the forefront of internet culture. Looking at Google Trends, the Freakout correlates with Gordon being searched by more people than ever before. There's a reason why the most requested guest to go on Hot Ones was Mr. Ramsay for years. Thanks in part to Amy, young internet users also took a liking to the show's host, and as a result, he saw an influx of memes surrounding him. On top of this, Gordon and the people around him have capitalized off this online success. Kitchen Nightmares has been off the air for half a decade, yet it's actually more popular than ever before thanks to the internet. At the beginning of 2019, their YouTube channel brought in 88 million views in a single month, which puts it on par with a lot of the other biggest channels on this website. I have to say that these corporate channels often have hacks running them who have no clue what they're doing, but the person managing the Kitchen Nightmares channel deserves a raise. They took an older reality show, cut it up, and repurposed it perfectly for the YouTube platform, with some amazing thumbnails and titles. A+ work. Anyway, going back to the main focus of this video, as of 2019, Amy is extremely active on Instagram, and for the last 2 weeks I followed her to see if I could find anything interesting, but there wasn't really much. She is constantly posting about her cats and desserts, and not much more other than that. To be fair, the cats are cute and she does make some appetizing confections. I know some people online really hate Amy when the episode came out, and the trolls attacked accordingly, but I honestly can't find much to be mad at 5 years later. Are they crazy? Of course. But since they're no longer running a restaurant and fell out of the public eye, they've returned to a pretty average life, and I don't foresee a round 2 anytime soon. Hey everybody, before I finish this video today, I just want to give a very big thank you to my sponsor, DMC5. Devil May Cry 5 is an over-the-top action-filled game and now available on Xbox One. It features 3 hunters, each with their unique playstyles, and it's an awesome time. But don't just take our word for it. Bleeding Cool calls it an elegant sympathy of obliteration. DualShockers calls it one hell of a good time. And GameRank calls Devil May Cry the perfect action game. So come on and play it for yourself. And remember, games play best on Xbox One.